In the heart of a bustling town, where the sun cast its golden rays upon the cobblestone streets, a gathering of eager listeners formed a semicircle around a figure whose presence radiated wisdom and compassion. Jesus, a teacher unlike any other, was engaging the crowd with profound truths. Among them stood a man, a teacher of the law, whose demeanor was a mix of curiosity and skepticism. With a voice that cut through the murmurs of the crowd, he posed a question that echoed through the ages. "Teacher, what must I do to have eternal life?" Jesus, with a gaze that seemed to penetrate the very soul, responded not with a direct answer, but with a question of his own. "What is written in the law? What do you read there?" The man, well versed in the scriptures, reflected for a moment before articulating the essence of the law. "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And love your neighbor as yourself." A smile danced across Jesus' face, a smile of approval and encouragement. "That's right. Do this, and you will live." Yet the teacher of the law, perhaps seeking to justify himself or to delve deeper, pressed further, "But who is my neighbor?" In response, Jesus began a story that would transcend time and culture, a narrative that would challenge the hearts and minds of all who heard it. Once upon a time, a man set out on a journey from Jerusalem to Jericho, a path infamous for its treachery. This road twisted through desolate landscapes where shadows lurked and danger was ever present. As he traveled, the man was ambushed by a band of robbers, vicious and ruthless. With shouts that echoed in the stillness, they demanded his possessions, stripping him not only of his belongings, but also of his dignity. They left him battered and broken, a mere shadow of the man he once was, lying helplessly on the roadside. Time passed slowly for the injured traveler, each minute stretching into eternity as he lay there, vulnerable and alone. He needed help, but in his heart he feared that no one would come to his aid. The world could be a cold and indifferent place, especially for a stranger. Eventually, a priest, adorned in the garments of his sacred office, appeared on the road. He was a man of God, a figure of authority and respect. Upon seeing the injured man, he paused, his brow furrowing in concern. "Oh dear, that man looks hurt," he thought. Yet, rather than extend a hand of compassion, he chose to cross to the other side of the road, his heart hardened by fear, or perhaps by the rules of ritual purity that dictated his actions. The poor man groaned, a sound of despair that echoed in the silence. But the priest did not look back. Not long after, a Levite, another religious figure, approached. He too was someone who served in the temple, responsible for the worship and rituals that connected the people to God. Seeing the wounded man, he gasped, his heart momentarily stirred. "Oh no, that man looks very hurt. But what if the robbers are still nearby? If I stop to help, they might attack me too." And with that thought, he too hurried past, crossing to the other side of the road, leaving the injured man alone once more. Then came the Samaritan, a traveler from a group often despised by the Jews. The animosity between Samaritans and Jews was deep-rooted, steeped in centuries of prejudice and misunderstanding. Those listening to Jesus might have expected the Samaritan to walk by without a second glance, to perpetuate the cycle of indifference. Yet, as he approached, something remarkable happened. The Samaritan saw the man lying there, broken and bleeding, and his heart swelled with compassion. "Oh no! This man needs help!" he exclaimed, rushing to the injured man's side. He knelt beside him, his actions fueled not by obligation, but by a genuine desire to help. He took out oil and wine from his bag, using them to cleanse the wounds, treating the man with the utmost care. "Don't worry, friend," he said, his voice warm and reassuring. "I will take care of you." With great effort, he lifted the man onto his donkey, walking alongside it as they made their way to an inn where the man could receive proper care. Upon arrival, the Samaritan addressed the innkeeper. "Please take care of him," he urged, handing over money for the man's stay. "If you need more, I will pay you when I return." As Jesus concluded the story, he turned to the teacher of the law and asked, "Now which of the three men was a good neighbor to the injured man?" The teacher pondered, his mind grappling with the implications of the narrative. Finally, he answered, the one who showed kindness and helped him. "That's right," Jesus affirmed, his eyes sparkling with the light of truth. "Now go and do the same." This parable, rich in meaning, carries a timeless lesson that true neighborliness transcends societal boundaries, prejudices, and fears. It teaches us that kindness is not reserved for those who look like us or share our beliefs. Rather, it is a universal call to action that beckons us to extend love and compassion to all, especially those in need. In a world often divided by differences, the story of the Good Samaritan reminds us that our humanity is defined not by our affiliations, but by our capacity to love. Every time we encounter someone in distress, we are faced with a choice. Will we turn away, or will we follow the example of the Samaritan, allowing our hearts to be moved by compassion? The answer lies within us, waiting to be awakened by the call to love our neighbors as ourselves.